Hello and welcome to the Stories of Northern Life from the Sioux Museum. It is June, so that means it is Pride Month. And we wanted to share with you a little history about Pride in this community, as well as create a form of documentation of this presence. We don't have a single artifact or document in our collection on the subject. We know that there is a proud LGBTQIP2SAA+ community here in Sault Ste. Marie. This is an acronym for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, questioning, intersex, pansexual, two-spirit, androgynous, and asexual. I will continue to refer to this community as LGBTQ+. This community has been around for many years, but our collection does not represent that. At the end of the podcast, I will talk about a way we hope to remedy that. But we are relying on you to help us out to collect that history. We need your stories when you are ready and willing to share. Let's start in the 1970s. There was an LGBTQ+ group that formed called Algoma Pride. There was a need for a safe space where dances and gatherings could be held to bring its members together, and that group made that happen. There were also some hidden groups behind the scenes of the public eye. There is a short documentary titled I Know a Place, produced by Jane Farrow and written and directed by Roy Mitchell, that shares the story of one pretty amazing human and a group of alike people that he loved and supported. It's a 30-minute film released in 1999. The film shines a light on a thriving little queer community buried in the center of isolated Sault Ste. Marie. Bob Gadare is the central figure of this film, who opened his home to many young queers in the 70s and 80s. Mother Gadare, as he's known to most, hosted over 2 decades worth of queer dance parties in the basement of his small townhouse with his lover, Jean-Guy. He was the central figure of the Sault Gay Underground, its organizer, therapist, and archivist. His basement was a pride laboratory, and just about anyone queer in Northern Ontario knew about his parties, as the word traveled fast between other mothers of nearby towns, such as Sudbury and Sioux, Michigan. The socials often lasted 3 days, including a dinner party on Friday, featuring Bob's famous meatloaf, a big bash on Saturday night, with drinking and dancing, and a cozy social brunch on Sunday. The director and writer Roy Mitchell accesses this intriguing story through his personal relationship with Bob and the community as someone who grew up in Sault Ste. Marie. This film, I Know a Place, is an important and refreshing contribution to the queer history and geography. Last year, the museum held a virtual live viewing of the film and an open community discussion afterwards, held by Madison Poser and Sue Rajamaki, though the conversation was not recorded because personal and sensitive topics were discussed. Moving past the 80s, momentum grew from the initial group, Algoma Pride. There was growth in the number of participating community members and allies, so a new group was formed, more formal in their community organization. This group is known as Sault Pride. Sault Pride is still today known as a community organization with a mission to bring people together from Sault Ste. Marie and Algoma District to celebrate the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and anyone in the LGBTQ2SIA+ community. They honor the history and educate the future, empowering people with diverse sexual orientations, gender identities, and gender expressions. The annual Sault Pride Fest became a celebration of unity and diversity, inclusion, and vibrant creativity. In 2014, Sault Pride put on the Sioux's very first Pride Fest. Hundreds of people came out to join in the festivities. 3 days of activities, including the raising of the pride flag at City Hall, info expo at Sault College, dance parties, children's story time, movie screenings, pub nights, vendor market under the Roberta Bonder Pavilion, and a pride walk that started at the Bushplay Museum and finished at the pavilion. Food, games, entertainment, and Sault Ste. Marie's LGBTQ+ and proud community. What more could you ask for? And there has been a Pride Fest every year, excluding the pandemic years. They all had a similar lineup of events for anyone to join in. Sault Pride has also engaged in other displays of the Sault's pride. Sault Pride and the city teamed up to install a rainbow crosswalk. This was a great way to visually show the city's pride. We are so happy to see the growth in the community is continuing to happen. This growth brought in a new group to celebrate Pride into the community as well, started by Coach Katrina, owner of the club 2S LGBTQ+ Community Center. This year, 2022, was the second annual Pride Month celebration named Bawading Pride, with 5 days of events for youth in the community. With events like candlelit yoga and live music, paint night, youth night, otherwise known as Rainbow Club, a beach barbecue, and a family pride festival. Since the 70s, events, gatherings, and community engagement have broadened and grown in this area. LGBTQ+ groups have become more normalized and supported, but we still have a lot of room to grow. Like I said before, unfortunately, the museum doesn't have a lot of Pride history in our collection. When you are comfortable and willing to share, if you have any stories, articles, documents, photos, or artifacts you would like to donate, please send an email to collections@saultmuseum.ca. collections@saultmuseum.ca. Whether it be a digital copy or a physical item, we'd love for you to share your history and save it for future generations to come. Lots of this information came directly from the Sault Pride website, Canadian Filmmakers Distribution Center website, the Bawading Pride Facebook page, and Sault Today articles. I hope you have learned a little more about Pride in your community, or if you didn't, maybe you're a little more inclined to share with us any piece of history you have on the LGBTQ+ community in Sault Ste. Marie and area. Thank you so much for listening, and happy Pride!